Hey everyone, welcome to the Costume Jewelry Chronicles with Lynn and Carrie. Each episode we will feature a new vintage costume jewelry designer and talk a little bit about jewelry reselling. We hope you enjoy. Hi everyone, thanks for watching the Jewelry Chronicles with Lynn and Carrie. Although Carrie's not here today, so it's just me, and I'm going to be talking about Eisenberg. It's a great jewelry company. We are going to discuss the history, the collections they used, the styles they used, talk about the materials and the jewelry marks, and then we're going to hop over to eBay search and see what the value of some of their pieces are going for at the moment. So Eisenberg started in 1914 by Jonas Eisenberg out of Chicago, Illinois, and it was originally a clothing company. They started making high-end apparel, and then they later moved to jewelry as a complement to their clothing lines. And then in the 1930s, they started adding their jewelry to their clothing, and it became popular, but the women wanted to wear the pieces individually, so they started making individual pieces in the 1940s. And to the 50s, they became a leading brand in the costume jewelry line, known for their luxurious, sparkling designs. By the mid-1950s, Eisenberg phased out its clothing line to focus just on the jewelry. They ended their operations in the late 1970s. Eisenberg Original was one of their jewelry collections, and it was introduced in the 30s to the 40s. They had highly detailed pieces, often with elaborate floral motifs. Eisenberg Ice was released in the 1960s, featuring rhinestones and crystals, and this became the most iconic line for Eisenberg, focusing on glamorous costume jewelry. Now you'll see Eisenberg Ice in a lot of their ads back in the 1940s and 50s. They did refer to themselves as Eisenberg Ice just because of all the bling that they made, but they didn't actually create the line until the 1960s. You'll see in the jewelry mark here that there's a copyright symbol, and that's obviously not made until after 1955. Eisenberg sterling was produced during World War II due to the restrictions on base metals, and they put their sterling mark in a separate spot than they did the word Eisenberg. As you'll see here on the right, it says Eisenberg on the clip part of the piece. Sterling, I believe this is the sterling mark. It might say patent, but I think it's the sterling mark right over here on the right. And you'll have to look at the piece in different angles just to find it sometimes, so I just wanted to point that out on this particular piece. They also made a line of Christmas trees, and there is a lot of them. So most of them range in the price range of $15 to $25. They are very, very pretty. But there is only a couple that go for a higher amount, which we'll probably see when we hop over to eBay. They also did a frosted collection, which was made with clear frosted rhinestones or Swarovski crystals, and it gave it a frosted look. Now, Eisenberg used an Art Deco style. They used strong geometric shapes in this and bold designs, and this was especially popular in the 1930s to early 40s. They had a Victorian-inspired design, which was romantic and intricate details with floral, filigree, and scrolling patterns. And they also had large, sparkling pieces made to emulate fine jewelry like diamonds, but with an affordable, opulent look. They also had some of the most famous pieces that were detailed in animals, flowers, and abstract designs. Like you'll see here, the ballerina and the lovely little animal, I guess it's a dog, and the butterfly. It's just a really intricate detailed piece. As you see in the middle, you'll see enamel painted on some of the tips. They added little turquoise, faux turquoise, little beads and some rhinestones. Just a really elaborate piece, but fun. They also did statement necklaces and earrings. Now they used this for more formal attire, and they were bold and oversized, and you'll see like the piece on the left has carved carnelian and the 5 rows of faux pearls. It really is elegant looking, yet it's affordable for most women at that time. And the rhinestone earrings are really popular. They did do a lot of pieces with clear rhinestones. And what a fun series they did. It's called the Art Series, and it was all enamels and lots of color, lots of boldness to these pieces. This is just a fun set. Now some of the materials that they used were like high quality rhinestones that they used in various colors and cuts, and clear and bright stones. Swarovski crystals were also used in the later pieces, obviously after 1956, because that's when they were created. They used sterling silver, which was used primarily during the 1940s, and they also used gold-plated metal, which was common in the post-war designs, often paired with rhinestones and colorful crystals. Enamel, as we've seen before in the Art Series. They also tipped some of their pieces with enamel just to give it a little bit of color, and they used it primarily in flower motifs. They also used pot metal in their earlier pieces, offering an affordable alternative to the precious metals. And they also used jade and turquoise, which surprised me. I didn't know that they did this till I researched Eisenberg. And they said they had a couple from Mexico, a husband-wife team, that made their jade and turquoise pieces, as you'll see on the right side here. Eisenberg original is almost like etched into the metal, and then made in Mexico, sterling, I believe it says, is stamped into it. So these are probably more rare pieces because it was just an individual, well, two people making them, so they weren't mass produced. Let's touch on the jewelry marks. So Eisenberg original was made between 1935 and 45, and a lot of times the two words were separated. So Eisenberg was on one part of the piece and original was on another part of the piece. So make sure you look around on the piece for all the words. Eisenberg with big bold block letters was made between 1945 and 1955, and then they added a copyright symbol to the same style, and that was used until 1958. They also used a script, which you can't hardly read on this metal piece, but I put it in a line drawing so you could see it better, and that was used in the 1950s. And they also used a Eisenberg sterling, which we've seen before, and again that was found on pieces during World War II when sterling silver was used due to the metal shortages, but it was marked separate a lot of times. Then they used Eisenberg ice, and that was the most common mark, often seen on their rhinestone encrusted pieces. And last they had a block E, and this is a very rare mark used in the 1950s, signifying Eisenberg's more minimalist approach in some of their designs, and it was used in tight spaces. They did use this again in the 70s. So let's hop over to eBay and see what pieces are selling for today. Alright, we're here on the eBay screen. As you'll see on the top, I put in Eisenberg minus lot because I wanted all the lots out of here, and it probably still shows some of the lots, but that's okay. And then as we scroll down to the left here, I clicked on sold, and it also does completed items. That's what we want to look at. I'm going to scroll back up here, and on the right I clicked on the price plus highest first with shipping. So let's look at the most expensive pieces that are selling here on eBay. So we have this rare 1940s Eisenberg original that sold for $1,350 on 2 bids. So 2 people wanted this, but they weren't willing, I guess, to go over $1,350, but that's a great price. Would love to find one of them. Here's a sterling piece with the ballerina. That one obviously they took a best offer on. And you'll see here authenticity guarantee on eBay. If anything goes over $500, it automatically gets sent directly to the authenticity verifier, and then they verify that it is actually the right piece and original, and then they ship it to the customer, which is really kind of nice. Look at this beautiful flower motif here, and this is a Eisenberg original, sold for $975. Look at this piece. I love this. This is, like they say, Celtic star flower. Kind of looks Art Deco to me too. This one with the blue stones, that one is gorgeous. And that's an original, it says, sold for $750. Here's a rare 1946 one. That sold for probably $600 or $700, somewhere in there. And on the right is one of those Art Deco ones, and right below it is in green. They sold for $700 and $500. And then we have a rooster, sold for $550, and another one of these, they call it fruit salad. I guess you could, in a way. It's referring to the colors of the stones because the stone shapes are not actually in the fruit shape. Here's some lovely pieces. Look at this middle pink one. That one stands out to me. That's an original, it says. Let's actually click on one of these and see the marking on the back. See, the sterling mark is marked separate from Eisenberg. Let's go back. And this one's got the melon shaped beads, sold for $475. This is, I've seen, was in my video, and that one sold for $444. Look at this cute little bow, sold for $425. That one says sterling. This one is sterling, an original. This one's a fur pin. Here is a clear fur clip, and that one was $459, marked down 13% off to $400, and then they took a best offer. Let's click on that and just see what the mark is on the back, if they show it. Yes, it's Eisenberg original. That one's marked clearly and together. This one doesn't have that clip like that one I was showing you. It does have some holders right here, it looks like. Go back. $395 for this original. Another original. Here's a pretty bird, $375. Let's go see what the mark looks like on this one. That says Eisenberg original, all together in one spot. This one has moonstones in it, $355. Here's some pretty clear ones, $300, in the $300 range. And here's a king and queen fur clip set, $300. Here is a crystal Christmas tree brooch. That one is very unique. I don't even recall seeing this one. It's like one big crystal. That is interesting. It's kind of domed shaped. Very unique. And that one is marked Eisenberg. It's probably 1950, well, it's 1955 to probably 1960s, I would say. They got $300 for it. Very rare piece. Very nice. You can see all of the Christmas tree brooches. I don't believe all of them are Eisenbergs, though. Look at this one, a cornucopia of crystals. $300. Here's a pretty necklace. That's an Eisenberg ice. Let's go look closer at that. We haven't seen too many necklaces. Most of them are brooches. This is showing the back side, which I'm not seeing the mark. There it is. It's on the clasp, which is an interesting clasp. You see the copyright. Sold for less than $300. Some more clear rhinestone ones. You'll see a lot of clear rhinestone ones. Here is a cute bubbles enamel one. Sterling. It's got the sterling mark. Oh, it's got sterling on every piece. And it's got that big E. That's what it was referring to. That mark. Pretty nice piece. $285 it sold for. Some more clear pieces. Here's a nice jade set. Let's look at that one and see if they show the back side. It's really pretty. They show the clips and the clasp. They have lots of pictures in this one, which is what you need to do, just so the customer knows exactly what they're getting, especially with higher priced items. The one thing I'm not seeing is where the mark is. And I would really like to see that on this one since they used jade. There we go. Eisenberg. So this makes me wonder if it is actually jade. Oh, they say jade glass. Yeah, this is, they're calling it Eisenberg ice. I don't see the ice on here. It could be, but it just says Eisenberg. And I think that's just glass. Here's one of the enamels. This is on sterling, sold for $250. Look at this one. These are pretty. Big chunky fur clip. And I'm sure that's what that one is too. Them are Eisenberg originals. Here's some more clear ones. I'm going to jump over to say page 5 and see what the more middle of the road ones are going for. Here we go, $70s and $80. Look at this stunning one. They even say it's stunning. Here's the Eisenberg ice, went for $75. Here's a bow with pink rhinestones, $78. Here's a nice Eisenberg ice. Very classic, very crisp, just a beautiful piece. Could use for formal attire, $77. Two-piece set, that's a good price. Here's one of the mushrooms. Enamel, $77. More clear, clear, clear. Here's a Christmas tree. We'll go back at the end and type in Christmas trees and see what we get. This one sold for probably $60 to $70 maybe. They're saying Juliana style. I never say that when it's not a Juliana. And if I don't know for sure, I would never say that. You really have to know if it is and not use word spamming. says Eisenberg Ice. It's obviously not Juliana. So this one was produced from 1960s to the 1970s. So we'll go back. Here's a bug brooch. That one's really cute with this pretty stone in it. $72. Here's another Christmas tree. Another Christmas tree, $70. $70. Look at this beautiful purple designer set. $69. And it includes the brooch, the earrings. Let me see. There we go. 2 brooches and an earring set. That is gorgeous. Now, that they put this on auction, and they got 3 bids, and they only got $69.78 for it. I would certainly have done this. I would have done this brooch separate from this brooch, but I would have put the earrings with this brooch and sold them separately because they could have got more money for this. Beautiful pieces. That's just my opinion. I could totally be wrong, but I really believe that somebody would have paid $60 or a lot more just for the 1 brooch and the 2 earrings, plus you would have made whatever you got for the second piece. This is a really fun Christmas tree. That's an Eisenberg Ice. Here's probably one of those frosted ones. It looks like it's got enamel. Sold for around $60, probably $50 to $60. Oh, this is a pretty blue one. Look at them turquoise, teal colored stones. Gorgeous. I would have zoomed in on this. This is beautiful. Eisenberg Ice, 1960s to 70s. Let's go back up here and zoom in. Look at that. AB rhinestones, so we know it was made after 1956. Here's a nice cute little heart-shaped one. And this looks really small. It's still sold for $65. I'm going to go up here and I am going to put in lowest first and see what we got. Here's an Eisenberg Ice sleigh and a wreath and an angel, sold for, oh, very low price plus shipping. Low prices on some of these. Now these are all bids. As you can see, they're all auctions. Somebody must have wanted to get rid of their pieces or something, because I think it takes a little longer to sell some of these, so that's why they only sold for such a low amount, because they put them on auction. Let me go to buy it now. So you can filter this out. We're looking at all listings here. You can go to auction. Let's do buy it now. Now we're still at the lowest price, and look at the price, $35 on up for Eisenbergs. And we're showing a lot of the Christmas trees we were talking about. So I could be wrong. I had them Christmas trees I said were selling for $15 to $25, but look, we've got $35 to $45. Here's another one that's probably around $50. These are all over $35. So Eisenberg has a good following, a lot of collectors out there. Nice butterfly, $60. Here's some of the enamel art series ones for $59. Here's that other Christmas tree that sold for $60. I actually have this one listed for a lot less, so if you want one, go buy mine. And here's a nice butterfly. What did it sell for? $60. On up, I'm going to go type in Christmas trees now. Minus lot, let's do Christmas trees. Christmas tree. Also, we have earrings. $9, $10, 11, 15, 10. So some of these do sell for in that range. 15, 18, 19, 15, 20. These are all kind of that same style. As you can see, you might not want to pick that one up unless you're okay with selling it for $15. It's always the same style one. This is a pretty one, sold for $19. Here's a different one. And this is an interesting enamel one, still in the $18, $19 range. Here again, that same style. Alright, one more thing. I'm going to go back up here and do highest to lowest. There again is that beautiful cut glass piece for $300. Now this next one is the one that I would say definitely pick up when you see it. Has marquee green red rhinestones with the little swoop tail and some little round stones on the outside edge. All the marquees are lined with clear rhinestones. Sold for $135. Let's look at the back. It's an Eisenberg Ice, so it was made in the 60s. It is a book piece, as you'll see here. And this is an absolute great way to show people that it is in the book and it is an actual Eisenberg Ice piece. Look at this one. This one is beautiful too, all the clear rhinestones. There's that tree again. We're back down to the 60, 65 range. So I hope you got an idea from just searching the eBay solds and seeing what you need to go look for when you're out and about. And I hope you learned something about Eisenberg today. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe.